My name is Alyssa Grant. I'm 32 years old, an accountant in Des Moines, Iowa, and for most of my life, I believed something simple. That family meant sacrifice. That love meant giving even when it hurt. And that if you gave enough, eventually, someone would notice. I was wrong. The life I built for them. Numbers had always made sense to me. They were predictable. Honest. Balanced. People weren't. I worked at a mid-sized accounting firm downtown, the kind of job that didn't make headlines but paid enough to live comfortably if you lived only for yourself. But I didn't. Every dollar I earned seemed to already belong to someone else. My parents. My younger sister. Their emergencies. Their dreams. Their mistakes. It started small. Or at least, that's how I convinced myself. 5 years ago, my father had a heart attack. I still remember the call. It was past midnight when my phone rang. My mother's voice was shaking so badly I could barely understand her. Alyssa, we don't have the money. Hospital bills. $15,000. I didn't hesitate. By morning, I had transferred everything I had saved. Every cent. No vacation fund. No emergency cushion. Nothing left. When my father came home from the hospital, he hugged me. Briefly. Awkwardly. Thanks, he muttered. That was it. No conversation. No acknowledgement of what it cost me. I told myself it didn't matter. He was alive. That was enough. Then came my sister. Vanessa. She was 3 years younger than me, but somehow, she had always been the center of everything. Where I was quiet, she was bold. Where I was practical, she was dreamy. That's what my parents called it. Dreamy. I called it reckless. Vanessa wanted a business degree. Just 3 years, she said. Then I'll build something big. My parents looked at me. They didn't even have to ask. I already knew. $10,000 a year. 3 years. $30,000. I paid it. Every semester. While juggling my own rent, car payments, and student loans. I skipped things. Trips with friends. New clothes. Even basic comforts. Because I believed in her. Or maybe, I just believed that if I kept giving, I would finally matter. She barely graduated. Parties. Missed classes. Half-finished projects. After graduation, she jumped from one business idea to another. A boutique that lasted 4 months. A food truck that never opened. An online store that disappeared without a trace. Each failure followed the same pattern. Excitement. Spending. Collapse. And every time, I covered the damage. The storm that took everything except the truth. 2 years ago, a storm tore through our neighborhood. Violent winds. Broken trees. Roofs ripped apart. My parents' house took the worst of it. I got the call again. Alyssa, we can't afford this. $8,000. I didn't even argue. I worked overtime. Took extra clients. Cut back on everything. And I paid for it. A new roof. A safe home. A place that stood because of me. Every time I drove past that house, I felt something strange. Pride and emptiness. Because no one ever said, "You did this." The dream I gave up. The biggest sacrifice came quietly. No emergency. No crisis. Just an opportunity. A firm in Chicago offered me a senior position. $85,000 a year. A real step forward. A real life. I stared at the offer email for hours. Then I imagined leaving. What if something happened? What if they needed me? Who would step in? Vanessa? No. Never Vanessa. So I declined. I stayed. And I told myself it was the right choice. The dinner that changed everything. It happened on a Sunday. Family dinner. The same table I had paid to refinish. The same chairs I had helped replace. The same house, held together by my money. We were eating quietly when my father cleared his throat. That sound. It meant something important was coming. I looked up. His expression was firm. Decided. "We've made a decision," he said. My mother nodded beside him, her eyes avoiding mine. A small warning sign I didn't want to read. My sister leaned back in her chair, almost relaxed. Like she already knew. The house, my father continued. And our savings. He paused. Then said the words that split my life in half. We're leaving everything to Vanessa. At first, I thought I misheard him. My brain refused to process it. Everything. The house. The savings. The life I had spent years protecting. All of it. To her. She deserves it, my mother added softly. For her future. Deserves it. The word hit me like a slap. I stared at them. At my father's calm expression. At my mother's careful avoidance. At my sister's faint smile. And suddenly, everything made sense. All those years. I wasn't their daughter. I was their safety net. Their solution. Their backup plan. Vanessa leaned forward, her voice light, almost excited. I've got some big plans, she said. Of course she did. She always did. Plans that cost money. Plans that failed. Plans that I would have paid for. But this time. They weren't asking me. They were taking everything. And giving it to her. The moment something broke. My fingers tightened around my glass. I could feel my heartbeat in my throat. I wanted to scream. To list everything I had done. Every sacrifice. Every dollar. Every night I stayed up worrying about their problems. But I didn't. Because deep down. I already knew. They wouldn't hear me. My father nodded, satisfied. My mother smiled at Vanessa. Vanessa smiled at herself. And I sat there. Invisible. I need some air, I said quietly. No one stopped me. No one asked if I was okay. No one followed. The cold night outside. The air outside was sharp and cold. It hit my skin like a wake-up call. I stood on the porch, staring into the darkness, their words echoing in my head. She deserves it. Deserves it. I laughed. A soft, broken sound. Because for the first time, I understood something I had been avoiding for years. They didn't value me. They never had. I had given everything. And they had given me nothing. Not even recognition. And in that moment, something inside me snapped. Not loudly. Not dramatically. Just, quietly. Irreversibly. I wasn't their provider anymore. I wasn't their backup plan. I wasn't their invisible daughter. I was done. The night of that dinner didn't end anything. It started everything. For a week, I moved through life like a ghost. Work. Home. Silence. But inside me, something was shifting, slow, sharp, and undeniable. Then came the truth. I met my best friend, Rachel, at a small coffee shop downtown. She had that look on her face, the one that meant she didn't know how to say what she needed to say. What is it? I asked. She hesitated, then leaned in. It's Vanessa. My stomach tightened. What about her? Rachel exhaled slowly. She's in serious debt, Alyssa. Credit cards, personal loans, and it's worse than you think. I stayed quiet. I have a friend at a bank, she continued. Vanessa used your parents' house as collateral. Everything inside me went still. She what? Rachel nodded, her voice lower now. She's been spending like crazy, designer stuff, trips, pretending she's building something. But it's all debt. I didn't finish my coffee. I didn't say much. I just stood up, grabbed my bag, and walked out. Because suddenly, everything made sense. The confrontation. I drove straight to my parents' house. The same house I had saved. The same house they had just handed to her. My mother was in the kitchen when I walked in. She smiled at first. Then saw my face. What's wrong? She asked. I didn't sit down. Did you know? I asked. Her smile faded. Know what? That Vanessa has been using the house as collateral. The spoon slipped from her hand. It hit the counter with a sharp sound. For a moment, she didn't speak. Then, that's not possible, she said quickly. She wouldn't do that. I stepped closer. She already did. I showed her everything Rachel had sent. Proof. Clear. Undeniable. My mother's face changed slowly. Shock. Fear. Doubt. And then, denial. She's just trying to build something, she whispered. That was it. That was the moment something inside me hardened completely. Build something? I said, my voice rising. She's risking your house. Your entire life. And you're still defending her? My mother looked at me, her eyes tired, her voice quieter now. You're strong, Alyssa, she said. You always figure things out. I laughed. A sharp, bitter sound. Exactly, I said. That's the problem. They didn't see me as their daughter. They saw me as their solution. The first no. A month later, the message came. The house payment is due. Just that. No apology. No acknowledgement. Just expectation. I stared at the message for a long time. Then typed something I had never said before. That's not my responsibility. I didn't send money. I didn't call. I didn't explain. And for the first time in my life, I chose myself. They didn't accept it. Of course they didn't. A few days later, they showed up at my apartment. All three of them. My mother. My father. Vanessa. My mother looked desperate. My father looked angry. Vanessa looked offended. We're running out of time, my mother said. The bank. We'll take the house, I finished calmly. My father stepped forward. You have the money, he said. You can fix this. I shook my head. No, I said. I won't. Silence. Heavy. Uncomfortable. Vanessa stepped closer, her voice sharp. You're seriously going to let us lose everything? I looked at her. Really looked. For the first time without guilt. Without obligation. You already did that, I said quietly. Her face twisted. You're selfish. I almost laughed. I gave you everything, I said. And you still think I owe you more? My father's voice cut in, cold. This isn't how we raised you. No, I said. You raised me to carry all of you. That hit harder than anything else. My mother started crying. Please, she whispered. For a second. Just a second. I felt it. That old pull. That old instinct to fix everything. But then I remembered. The dinner. The words. She deserves it. And just like that, the feeling disappeared. I'm done, I said. The lies begin. What happened next? I didn't expect. Vanessa went online. And she lied. She painted herself as the victim. The struggling daughter. The dreamer abandoned by her cold, selfish sister. People believed her. Friends. Neighbors. Even some of my colleagues. I started noticing the looks. The whispers. The distance. One client even pulled out of working with me. Family matters reflect character, he said. That hurt. Not because it was true, but because it wasn't. I wanted to defend myself. To explain. To expose everything. But I didn't. Because for the first time, I didn't need their approval. The final confrontation. They came to my office. Public. Desperate. Angry. You need to fix this, my father said. I stood up slowly. Calm. Unshaken. No, I said again. Vanessa snapped. You're ruining this family. I looked her straight in the eye. You did that, I said. And this time. She had no response. A few weeks later. Everything collapsed. The bank took the house. The truth came out. Vanessa's debt. Her spending. Her lies. People started talking again. But this time. Not about me. About her. Her social media went silent. Her dreams disappeared. And then. She left. No goodbye. No apology. Just gone. My parents lost everything. The house. Their savings. Their illusion. My mother called me once. Her voice was quieter than I had ever heard it. We lost the house, she said. I didn't say I told you so. I didn't need to. I'm sorry it came to this, I said. And I meant it. But I didn't take responsibility. Because it wasn't mine. The life I finally chose. After that. Something changed. I stopped saying yes to everything. Stopped carrying what wasn't mine. Stopped shrinking myself to make others comfortable. I focused on my life, my career, my peace. I even revisited the opportunity one once gave up. And this time, I didn't hesitate. I moved. New city. New start. New version of me. Not the daughter who gave everything. Not the one who stayed silent. But someone stronger. Clearer. Free. Final message. Family isn't supposed to drain you. Love isn't supposed to cost your future. And sacrifice isn't meant to be one-sided. I didn't lose my family. I lost the version of myself that let them use me. And in doing that, I finally found my life.